Yeah, g'day viewers, Mr. Shauny Thompson poke along, not bad, thanks, and welcome back to what is probably going to be the last episode of Shauny in the Shed. Yes, as a lot of my viewers may know, wifey and I, whoop, bonnet just fell shut. Wifey and I, we have quit our jobs, we've bought a caravan, got the 200 series, and we are thong slapping around Australia with no end date because of my online business. But that's a whole other side of things. Tonight, what we're doing in the shed, it's about 9:30 at night. I literally just got back from a trip. Took off up to Bingara, Barraba, up to Glen Innes, back down to Tamworth, all up through the mountains, pulling, towing, everything like that. Now, as a lot of you have seen in my last videos of me working on the big 200, V8 mate. Anyway, a lot of you seen in my last videos working on the 200 series, I did a full intake clean, not an EGR clean. I got pulled up on that in one of the comments. Thanks for that, by the way. I did an intake clean. Now, what I did in that video was I drilled out the butterflies. Bonnet shut again. I think my Milwaukee light is too heavy. Just take that off there for a sec so I don't get distracted. Anyway, so what I did was I drilled out the butterflies in the intakes. I went over that in a previous video on what that does and what my thoughts were that, but now what I'm going to do now is prove it. All I did was drill out the butterflies. I didn't put a catch can in. I didn't do an EGR blanking. I didn't do anything. Now, the vehicle's done about 30,000 kilometers since I've done that. Plenty of power still, blah, blah, blah. All I'm going to do is pull the intake out because it is starting to leak. Now, with these 200s, they do have a tendency of cracking the intercoolers. And if you can see there, I'm starting to get a bit of oil run down that line down there. Now, I haven't cleaned it, I haven't washed it purposely so I can see just how much oil is running down there. Now, I don't have a catch can to fit to this tonight. Hoping to get one tomorrow, but we'll see how we go. So I am going to fit a catch can now, pull it apart. I'm going to video it all. I'm not going to video pulling apart the strip down. You saw that in the last video, so I'm just going to pull the intercooler off, pull all the guts of it out, and I'm going to show you exactly what was in there from just literally taking out the butterflies and the reason I did it and what the benefits are from it and all that sort of thing. Anyway, shiny things. Boom. So just quickly, I just got the cover off the intercooler and I wanted to show you this oil leaking. Now, I haven't washed the engine for God knows how long. Anyway, check it out. Now, this oil here, it's leaking down here somewhere, but if you take note, just there appears to be oil in there. Now, I'm wondering if my intercooler doesn't have a hole in it. Now, I've just done, as I said before, I've done a big trip up Bingara, Glen Innes, up through the mountains, all that sort of stuff, pulling a 3.5 ton van, wasn't fully loaded, I was probably grossing maybe 6 ton, and I was getting 26 litres per 100. Now, before you all go, oh my God, my Ranger does better than that, and all that bullshit. This is why we're doing what I'm doing, right? I'm going to tune, all that sort of stuff, but that'll all come later. So I'm wondering if my intercooler has a hole in it. So I'm going to keep digging in. We're going to find out. It's going to be sick. The other thing I thought of, for those of you who don't know, this pipe here, this one right here, and that little box there, that's actually a tapper cover breather. That there is where you plug your catch can in. Now, that there goes straight into your intake into your turbo. And that little hose there is what you take out and you replace into your catch can thing. So the oil that bypasses from your tapper cover breather usually comes down there, and into that pipe there, which goes back into your turbo and then blows back up all through your intercoolers and back into the top of the intakes there. So when you put your catch can on, you're removing that hose basically and plumbing it back through the catch can. If I get one tomorrow, I'll show you how to do it. Plumb it in. Although there's not much room under the engine bay of these 200s. I'm not sure where it's going to fit. Maybe there. Maybe that's a good spot. We'll put it there. Don't know. We'll see. So, let's do the unboxing together. We've got one more bolt to do, and then we'll rip the top off and have a quick look, eh? It's going to be adorable. Here we go. Milwaukee torches and that, because, you know, it's late at night and stuff. Oh, one more little bolt to do. Here he is, see? So I haven't taken it off and gave it a clean or anything. You guys are literally seeing this. Now I think all it's done is about 30,000 Ks. I will double check that and let you know. Oh, yes. that actually is not too bad, eh? You can see there in the centre, that's where your EGR comes in, and obviously that's going to be a bit dirty, but all those cavities up in there, after 30,000 Ks, all those cavities up in there aren't full of crap like they normally are. It's usually all packed up in there, like pretty bad. So it's actually, there is still a bit of stuff on there, I will admit. There is still a bit of stuff on there, but it's not that bad. There is a shitload of oil in there though, holy dooly. Anyway, that's all I wanted to do tonight. There is a crap load of oil in there. Anyway, that's all I wanted to do tonight. That's gross, eh? That is gross. That's why they have the butterflies, people, because they know, Toyota know, as a safety precaution, because that crap there is going into your intake, that's going to wear out the balls and the rings, and eventually your engine is going to run on. It may take 700,000 Ks, I don't know. I haven't heard of one doing it yet. There will be one out there have done it. And literally when you turn the key off, the butterflies close the air coming into the intake, and that's their safety precaution because of engine run-on from this shit. Excuse the French over there, I love you. And that's why they're there, to drill them out. You don't need them. Waste of time. Now, I'm no expert on these engines. I am not a self-proclaimed expert. I'm not trying to sell anyone anything. I'm not doing nothing. I just love tinkering, and it's fun. So, I'm going to bed because I'm tired. And I'll see you guys in the morning. Well, I'll see you guys in about 3 seconds. Morning, viewers. I know that was like 3 seconds, quickest 3 seconds of your life, eh? Copy. Anyway, I watched the video last night and I worked it out, and I've actually done 40,260 kilometres. Exactly. Since the last intake clean. I've got to stop saying EGR clean because I didn't clean the EGR, I just cleaned it in intakes. As I got so, well, told off about. Anyway, so this morning, what we're doing, what we're up to, I've got the pressure cleaner out. I've got the intercooler over here. Now, I'm using this product called Shift It. You probably can't see that. Hang on, I'll get in the light. Shift It. This is what I'm using. It's awesome, this stuff. Brings your tyres up on your car. Absolutely sensational. Plastics, all that sort of stuff. I don't know what the hell's in it, but it works awesome. So I've got the intercooler over here. And in the light, I don't think there is a hole in it. I think it's just been blown back past here a little bit. That hose clamp may not have been tight enough, and it's just blown back past here, and the dust on here has mixed with the oil and made it all yicky and sticky. So I'm 90% sure there's no hole in it. So yeah, we're just going to clean it all up. Happy days. Righto guys, so the plot has thickened. I know we all love a good plot twist. Jack has 365,000 Ks on it. We're about to set off around Australia on a trip, pulling a 3.5 tonne caravan. Now, it was blowing a bit of smoke. It is rattling a little bit in the engine. Obviously it's injectors. That's our caravan, Royal Family Flare. The thing is huge. 21 footer, comes in at about 3 tonne, 3.2 tonne or something like that. Haven't officially weighed it yet, full of everything, but it's roughly about 3.2 tonne. Now, with that being said, we're going to do the injectors. Just rang up. They've got them over in Tamworth, so wifey's just jumped in the ute. Fly the girls around to drop them off at old Pappy's place. So Pappy's going to look after the kids. I'm going to spend the day in the shed ripping the injectors out of Jack. You do need to code the injectors when you go back in, so you need to write down all the numbers on the injectors. We'll go into that later. I'll show you that. I'm not going to show you pulling it all down. I will show you pulling the tapper covers off, because it is a mongrel, absolute mongrel bastard job. Like, I'm not looking forward to today. Anyway, it's got to be done. I'd much rather do it here than have it stopped out on the Nullarbor or something and cost us $1 million to get it done. So let's stuff it, let's just do it. Anyway, you can tell I'm not excited, eh? Anyway, let's just rip it down. We'll get into it. I'll go right over getting the actual injectors out, what numbers you have to write down, coding them, putting them all back in. I'm gonna have to borrow a scan tool off my old boss. I haven't rang him and told him that I'm doing this yet, but I will when it's all back in and together and I'm coding them. That's when I'm gonna ring him and tell him. That's when I'll do it. Yeah. Otherwise he'll get emotional. Poor boss man. Anyway, let's get into it. Filthy, aren't they? Anyway, so I've been trying to remember to film little tips and tricks on the way as I do this. I'm up to pulling the tapper cover off this side. Damn torch is going flat. Pull these little cheeky buggers. Pull them off before you pull the tapper cover off. Now on the 200, it's got this pipe here that goes down into this side turbo, and there's a couple of little bolts down there. Make sure you always jam a rag down in there and don't forget about it, so that dirt and dust and stuff doesn't go down into your impellos on your turbo intakes. Pull those out there so that when you pull the tapper covers off, you don't actually break the side out of those little O-rings. Now that's all part of the fit kit when you get the injectors. You will get new ones, but it makes it 10 times easier trying to pull the tapper cover off when they're not on there. Copy. Now that I've got that out of the way, cheeky bugger, we can have a quick look in here at the top of the injectors. There they are, baby. Those ones there. Now those there bolts have a torque setting, and I'm pretty sure in the instruction manual it says change the bolts when you go to do it, but yeah, no, that's not going to happen today. So that's the overhead camshafts. I really should pull them out and put really big ones in there, hey? Anyway, they're the numbers on top of the injectors that you have to write down, those ones there with the little, you can't see. I'll show you on the new injectors when they get here. My wife's just gone to Tamworth to pick them up, about 3.5 hour drive. So she's going to do like an 8 hour day today. Big day in the office for wifey. Poor wifey. Bless her little soul. Pappy's got the kids. And I'm in here playing in my shed. Yo! Alright, so we're up to the part. I've just rattled the bolts off the back three. I'll rattle the bolts off the front one so you can see. Hang on a second, just put some stuff down. I'm really sorry about the light. I know it's a bit dark. Whoop, wrong way. Yeah. Actually pulling the injector out is not that bad. So take that off. Don't lose that washer on the top there. Yeah, that's actually the injector hold down clamp. There's a little ball dicky looking thing that goes in there on top of that. I don't know if you can see that or not. Anyway, actually removing the injector, I'm going to try and do this one-handed, so bear with me. I have got one of these, what I call bird hooky bar. It's a gear wrench, rolling head, adjustable pry bar looking thing. It looks like a bird beak, so I call it bird hooky bar. Miniature bird hooky bar. I've actually got a big one too. So get your bird hooky bar on that nut there and jam in there and just sort of give it a little wiggle and boom, out they pop, just like that. Sorry about the bad cameramanship, I'm doing this one-handed, and there she is, baby. That's what they look like. Ooh, a lot of carbon built up on that, if you can see. On the end of it. Hang on, get it a better light. Yeah, there you go. Bit of carbon built up on the end of it. It's not blue. I've seen them where they come out and the whole end of it and the whole, this silver part here is all blue. But yeah. Not bad, thanks. That's the first one. Now find somewhere to lay it out and do the rest of them, eh? Okay, so it's now 3:30 in the afternoon. Remember before when I said get that bird hooky bar and just put the thing under the injector and go, well, I've been at this for 4 hours now, and I've literally just got the second injector out. Now, I want to show you just what it looks like. See how dry that is? See that? Ah, 4 hours it has taken. So as you all know, I had hell's own trouble trying to get these bloody injectors out. Anyway, one came out easy, 3 on the right-hand side as you sit in the cab were an absolute mongrel. And the other thing happened, on the first one that came out, you can probably see that brass washer. I just had a mental blank then. That brass washer came out with the first one, but it didn't come out with the second, third, and fourth one. So I'll show you a little trick that I learned to get them out. Get a flat screwdriver, big long one, jam it down your pop hole. Oh, it's not going to go. Jam it down your pop hole. I'm trying to do this one-handed and film at the same time, and it's not. Gently give it a little whack on the end, gentle little whack, and get a shifter on there, and you just want to give it a little crack. And hang on, little shifter. You want to give it a little. Oh no, it didn't work. Didn't grab. I need two hands. I'll be back in a sec. Well, viewers, it's 10:30 at night, and yes, as you guessed it, I am ripping the injectors out of Jack. It used 80 litres of fuel to do 250 k's on the way back from Tamworth. I knew it was a bit on the way out. Jack's got a fair few k's on him, and they've never been done, so, you know, it's time. Why not rip the set of injectors out 2 days before you piss off for a trip around Australia? Hey? Anyway, I literally was in the shed till 1 o'clock this morning. I was up again at 8, back in the shed, and I've been in the shed all day, and I'm literally up to pulling out number 5. This is where I'm up to, baby. That cheeky little bugger. They're moving millimetres at a time. I think that one there's been done before, because it was the easiest one to get out, literally just wiggle, pop. That one there was about 4 hours. That one there was about an hour and a half. That one there about, I don't know, half hour, 20 minutes or something. See all that shit on there, mate? Excuse the French, sorry, swear, Mama Bear. And then if that's not the worst part of it, these cheeky little buggers here, see these copper washers, mate? They are supposed to come out with the injectors. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. Anyway, they got stuck in there, and I had to destroy them trying to get them out. Now, that's not the worst part. I've still got one in there. I've still got one in that there hole. I cannot get it out for love nor money. I have tried everything. I've tried every trick under the book. I've rang a few blokes. I've talked to a few people. I've made a few specialty pulley hooky tools. I have got that many punches and little drifts and stuff, and I cannot get it out. So about 6:30 this tonight, I left that and I started on this side. It's now 10:30 at night, and I have got that far with pulling that one out, because again, it's all corroded and been in there for 100 years now. I've done a lot of injectors on a lot of different vehicles. It's the first time I've done 200 series. I've done hundreds of 79 series. I've done Hiluxes, I've done Prados, I've done Ford Ranger. I've done Ford Rangers, and I tell you what, these are the most mongrel gutted bastard, absolute, not very fun. Mama Bear, did you like that one? Hey? Not very fun. Not very fun injectors to get out. These are the hardest ones that I've ever had to pull out. I've literally wrecked. This is what I'm using, people. I'm using a couple of bloody pry bars either side of the injector, and just wiggle, trying to get these bastards out. I've wrecked all the bolts on the camshafts, hold down clamps. I've wrecked all the bolts on them, so I'll get new bolts tomorrow. Wife did a quick trip over to Tamworth. We were there yesterday. Quick trip over to Tamworth today to pick up the new set of injectors, so they're all down there in the box. Thanks, Diesel Care. Not bad, thanks. Phew. Another set of bolts for tomorrow. Got to get them. As you can see, I've flattened the bloody heads of them out, trying to prise the injectors out. So on the rocker covers, I'm going to ring Toyota in local Toyota dealership tomorrow and see if they've got some bolts. And I've got to get another leak off line washers. But yeah, so tonight's mission is to get them out. I've got to be here until they come out, all 4 of them, and I'm up to number 5, and I'm on 3 hours. So that's what's going on. How did I know that it did the injector? I've been asked that a few times from a few different people. Is I knew they were getting sad because of the Ks that are on Jack. I knew it was starting to roll a bit of coal. And then on the way back from Tamworth, she just went, hello, that's it, mate. Hey, 30 litres per 100, 80 litres or something to get 250 Ks. It's a lot of fuel, mate. That is a lot of fuel. So anyway, we just poke along. Rip them out, get them done. They're a little bit rattly. I knew it was happening, right, people? It wasn't like oh my God, this just happened overnight. Well, I was hoping to push it out a bit longer, but really wanted to be stuck up bloody top of Queensland on the side of the road on the beach with saltwater crocodile nipping at me toes, foaming, pulling injectors out of Jack. That would have been heaps more fun, don't you reckon? Instead I'm at home in my shed where it's probably a lot more better. No? Yeah. Anyway, that's what I'm doing. That's what's going on. Stop asking me questions. Stop sending me snaps. I'm busy. I've got a bit on. Look at him. Just get out of there, you mongrel. God. See all that dirt and carbon and crap? That's what's holding those cheeky buggers in there, mate. Does that help? Right over here, so it's about 12:30 and I've literally just pulled the last injector out. Look at that crud. So now it's going to poke along, pull all the leak off line washers out. The washers in the hole. Them ones. They're going to sound all technical and stuff, but I monumentally stuffed that up, didn't I, eh? Anyway, bloke came up with an idea. He said, mate, 12mm bolt, screw that into the end of the bloody little bit of force on there, screw it into the brass washer there and give him a little pop him out. So I didn't have a bolt long enough, so I've gone down and got the welder out and I made one with the old injector clamp down bolts, because, you know, in the fitting kit you get new injector clamp hold down bolts. How good's that? So I want to show you something real quick. So I made up this little wire brushy looking thing. Literally just pulled some of the wires out of my wire brush, got some tie wire, twisted together, put them through the poke holes and made a wire brush. Anyway, stuck it in my pop hole and the little bloody thingy came out. If you look at it real close here, hang on, I'll get it in a spot where you can see on the edge of the toolbox here real quick. And if you look at that, mate, you actually see on the edge of it where the bloody carbon's actually been melted, not melted, bloody boring into the side of the bloody copper washer, mate, eh? It was not long for this world. Righto, viewers, she's 1 o'clock in the morning, mate. I've had a big day in the office. I've had a gut full of bloody looking at that truck. What is going on with that head today? Anyway, I still got heaps of stuff to do. And I've also got to ring boss man and tell him I'm going to pinch his scan tool to code the new injectors. But not yet. Don't tell boss man yet either. I don't want to stress the poor old fella out. For our boss man. Yeah, g'day viewers, welcome back to Thursday morning, day 2.5? 3, you could probably call it day 3. Day 3 of pulling the injectors out of Jack. This is where I'm up to. Last night, got this side bank, the left-hand side bank out. Still working on trying to get the copper washers out of this side bank. I haven't hit them, haven't done anything to them yet. Still haven't got the copper washer out of the left-hand side back bank, which is piston number 8. I've given up. I haven't given up, but I'm just leaving it for now and letting it think about what it's done wrong. Anyway, I'm going to show you real quick. This is a screwdriver, flathead screwdriver. I had to cut the end of it off so that I could try and get it in there in number 8 because, you know, brake reservoirs and stuff in the way. Don't do this job, eh? Just pay someone, like, sorry, camera lens was dirty. Just pay someone to do it. Like, your life will be easier. There'll be less stress, like, anyway, I'll show you real quick how you, I hope this works. Oh, I haven't tried it yet. I hope it works. I'll stick this up here. Levers on there. Pretty cool. Now that one there. See how you just can't get a good hit on it because there's always something stuck in your way? Like, now you want flat. Try and get the flat in there, flat. Like in there, flat. You just got to give it a little bump on the end of it, and then get a shifter on the end of it. And get a big shifter on the end of him and give him a turn. So I've just got a toolbox and got another longer punch to stick it out here so I can actually give it a good whack. There. So, and then hold pressure down on it, mate. Just keep holding pressure down on him. Get a shifter on your screwdriver and just turn it like that and it should crack and pop and come out of the hole. And I guarantee that one didn't. I guarantee that one didn't. I guarantee that one didn't. Because it's a bastard. It hates me. Nope, it just turned. Nope, it just turned. So this is what I'm dealing with. Yeah. Leave a comment. Tell me how I'm doing it wrong. Tell me how that you have a better way of doing it, because by the time you watch this video, it would have been finished. And it would have been done and back together. And I would have really loved the advice right now on how to do it, what I'm doing wrong, the special tool that you can buy on eBay that, you know, I've got to leave tomorrow lunchtime that I can't wait. Like literally got to hook up to the van and we're going tomorrow lunchtime. So I can't wait to buy the special tool off eBay. I'm doing what I can with what I have. Wow, there's a lot of carbon and shit built up in there. Sorry for swearing. Okay, love you, back. Righto guys, so we're back. As you've seen, I literally just got the injector washer out. I've just gone downtown, grabbed a few bits and pieces to make some tools to fix the hole. So I'll just put a photo up now. And that's what the holes look like. So as I've hit them with the screwdriver, hit the washers with the screwdriver, they've actually gone through and just put a little mark on the bottom of the aluminium where the injector seat sits. So what I've done is I've gone down, I've got these little stones for the die grinder. I've welded it to a screwdriver because it's so far down. And I've got a 7mm drill bit. A 7mm drill bit is a tiny little bit smaller to go down into the injector hole. Now, put a heap of grease on it, in both of them. And then, I know that's not straight, but it is actually working really, really well. So, stick it down your hole with a heap of grease on it and just simply turn it. And all we're doing is just grinding some of the, where I've just burred it a little bit, we're just grinding it flat again. And then I can get the torch and have a quick look down there. Now, and the reason for the drill bit on the bolt is because when I've hit it, it's just painted over just a tiny little bit into the hole. So I can stick the drill bit down there and just sort of like, it's basically filing it out as such. I haven't got I tried a chainsaw file, but I didn't like it. So I just got a drill bit, put a heap of grease on it. So any filings or anything, it can't go down in the piston, get stuck in the grease. Hey? So this is where we're up to, this is what we're doing. We've got a bit on. I know I say that a lot, but yeah. So this is what we're doing. And as you can see all that black stuff, it is working. It's working slowly, but it is working. I know this seems like a dodgy way to do this, and I know that there'd be a proper tool to do this, but we're not in a proper workshop. We're in my backyard at home in the shed, and literally showing you guys, you know, how to do it, how to poke along, get the job done, not the correct 100% for professional way, but it works. Galby? So just doing number 1, 2, 5. So the firing order, 1, 2, 3. No, 1, 2. I'll double check that and get back to you. I'll drop a photo here. I did find a photo in the internet from the workshop manual of the firing order of these engines. Anyway, we'll sort that out later, because I'm going to need to know that to code the injectors as to which injector is in which pot. So yeah, we'll just keep poking along doing this. Righto people, quick little update of where we're at. So I've got all this side completely back together, all the injectors are in there, the whole thing, tappet cover's back on, everything's done. I'm working on the other side. I've still got the tappet cover off, still got to put the injectors in. I couldn't get new bolts from Toyota, but I was able to get grade 8 bolts and hardened washers from the local bolt shop. That's what I did to them, squishing them, trying to get the bloody injectors out. So I did get these grade 8 bolts and hardened washers. You can see just there, they are going to do the job. I tensioned them up, put them in. So what I was quickly going to show you is how to actually put the injector in, because I don't think I didn't film the other side because I'm on a bit of a time frame, you know. Yeah. Heading to Double Island Point tomorrow, and I'm not ready. So anyway, here we go. do it from scratch so you can see the whole process. This is the box, Denso injector. In the box you'll get this. It's all wrapped up in a baggie. Take the injector out carefully. Don't lose your injector washer. Nothing else in the bag. The O-rings are already on there. Let's rip that off. Leave that on for now. Leave the black one on for now. And keep that so you can put them on your old injectors because you do have a core charge. Now, where to put it? Lots and lots of grease. Now I know some people don't like doing this. Some people, but I always got taught from my boss, and he's been doing this for a bloody long time. Old boss man is lather it in grease. More grease the merrier. Don't worry about getting it on the end or whatever, because it's only a bit of grease. And don't use your teeth to open the packet, even though your hands are all covered in grease and all that sort of stuff. And then get your little washer, sit your little washer on, more grease, make sure it is lathered in grease. Now what I did forget to do before I did this is get my book out of the car and write the bloody numbers down. Those numbers there, I think that's the right way up. Those numbers there, you need to write those numbers down, a whole lot of them, because they need to be coded into the ECU to tell the ECU that this injector is in that spot. So 1, 3, 5, 7. So this is going in hole number 7. So double check, washers on, O-rings in, and then spin around real quick, and then literally just slide him in the pop hole. Boom. A little bit of pressure and then leave it. Go along and put the rest of them in, and then your hold down clamps, where you've got new bolts and O-rings, and these washers, these new, they come with the hold down clamps. Then you'll go along and just put the hold down clamps on and just leave them there loose, because you're going to need to put the the return line on the injectors. You can't tighten the injectors up because the return line may not be where it wants to sit, and the return line's got to sit back round and onto there. Copy? Alrighty then, so I've got all the injectors in. They're all sitting there. Now the thing I wanted to show you is, see here, that's your leak off line there, return line. Sorry, I keep saying leak off line because that's what Boss Man used to call it, alright, so just stop yelling at me. Your leak off line there. Now if I had to tighten those injector hold down clamps down, that one would have been tightened there, that one would have been tightened there, they wouldn't have lined up. That's why I said don't tighten them down yet. Put your leak off line washers in there before you do that. Now with these leak off line washers, I'm going to tell you a little story. Story time! These are your banjo bolts and your leak off line washers. Return line washers. They go on there, they go either side of the thing, blah blah blah, happy days. Now a couple of years ago, we had a monumental stuff up. We tightened up one of these bolts, we did the job, put the injectors in, tightened up one of the bolts, and for some reason one of the leak off line washers didn't get tightened tight enough. Anyway, yeah, now we tension them. Didn't get tight enough. The bolt rattled loose and was leaking diesel down into the tappet. Now that goes into the head. Now that goes straight down into the sump, through past the timing chain, straight into the sump, filled the sump full of diesel. And of course, sorry, kids are playing under the hose. And of course, diesel isn't as thick as the engine oil, so it basically locked the motor, overfilled it, locked it, cooked it, absolutely wrecked it, annihilated the motor. So it was warranty claim, Boss Man had to claim it on insurance, massive big ordeal. Anyway, it all could have been avoided if we had tensioned the bolts. Now we didn't tension them back then, we tension them now. It was 100% stuff up on everyone at fault. Everyone was at fault. We'd done the injectors and a week later it happened. The customer didn't. Anyway, won't go into that. when you get your injectors done, if you ever get your injectors done in a ute, car, 200, whatever, check oil daily. If you're going on a big trip to Sydney and you've just had your injectors done, 6-hour drive or something, check it every 2 hours. Get out, pull the dipstick out. If it starts filling up with oil, there's something wrong. Stop, don't drive it anymore. Otherwise you will. Copy? Excuse the French, I'm going to have to edit some of that out and put some beeps and stuff in there. But I'm 100% serious about this. You will, and then you will blame the mechanic and it'll be his fault and he'll be the worst prick in the world. It'll just be an absolute fuck for everyone. So check your fucking oil. It's not hard. Righty guys, so this is where we're up to. We've put all that side back together. I've got basically all the plugs plugged in, all the important ones anyway. So the intercooler is out the front, still drying because I gave it a good wash and cleaned all the inside of it out, because the original reason why I pulled it apart was to give the intake a good clean. And then, you know, next thing we're pulling injectors. So anyway, it's still out there because it sort of got forgotten about when I started ripping injectors out. So I'm just cleaning it. Got all the major plugs plugged in. So what we're going to do now is going to get in the cab. I got wifey to slip up to Boss Man's work. He said I could borrow the scan tool like a bloody legend. So this is a G-Scan 2. Yeah, we're just gonna, you can code the injectors without the intercooler on. It's not a big issue. There are my injector numbers. I also took photos of them as well. So there's bank 1, bank 2. Yeah, so I'll go into the program here. We want Toyota. Menu selection, international, 16 pin, system search. We'll just do a system search on it because I turned the key on, which I should do now. I turned the key on earlier and it threw a heap of codes. Silly me. Anyway, yeah, it's still got a heap of codes up. ATA. That's alright. We'll do a system search on it and should be right. There we go. So it's got, anyway, it's going to take a minute, so we're just going to bloody wait, I guess. So yeah, that took ages. Anyway, as I said before, I turned the key on with it all unplugged and it has 20 codes for the engine. So we'll just select that and we'll see what they are. It's basically just going to be like a whole bunch of shit's missing because it's not reading it. But yeah, because the plugs weren't plugged in. These things take ages, eh? Come on, little brain box, do your thing. Let us go. It's because it has 20 codes in it. That's why it's taking so long. Yeah, here we go. Look at all that, mate. Fuel rail, pressure sender, all that sort of crap. Righto, what we're going to do is we're going to go erase. Okay. Boom. Erase. Erase. Okay. Boom. Erased. Boom. Erased. Alright, that disappeared in a minute. Happy day. Okay, so as you can see, we've got all the intercooler and everything back on. Just missed that. Look at that. All the clamps done up, all the hoses are tight, everything's all working, everything's all good. I'm going to plug the scan tool back in, just clear a few codes, and then I'm going to give it a start. I haven't changed oil yet. What I'm going to do is run it so that all the oil carries all the stuff that was all in the top. If there's any residual diesel or petrol or WD-40 or anything in the top, it'll get put into the old oil, and that way I can drain it. I'm just literally not going to drive it anywhere. I'm going to get the motor warm and then drop the oil. And then I'll put new oil in it, and then probably 2,000 k's I'll drop it again, just to make sure that there's nothing else left in the oil. So I'll just go and clear those codes on the scan tool, and then we'll fire it up and see what happens. Alrighty, here goes nothing. It's running a bit rough, but just let it sit there and idle for a bit and see what it does. There's a bit of a rattle every now and then. So I'll just let it sit there and idle and do its thing and let the computer and the ECU catch up. We've got no leaks, that's a good thing. So there you have it, guys. The hardest set of injectors that I've ever had to put back in. Bonnet's back on. We're just packing up. Righto, guys. So it's been 2 weeks since I filmed this video. The injectors are back in Jack. It all works sensationally. You've just seen the startup process. It was a little bit rattly to start with, but you know, I just let it warm up, do its thing. I took it for a hot lap, let it cool down properly. Next morning, started it up, took it for another hot lap. Everything was happy days. So we've just spent a week up on Double Island Point, Noosa North Shore. We've come back, I've clicked over just a little over 2,000 Ks. I'm going to get the ute in here in a minute, the wagon in here in a minute, and we're going to drop the oil out of it. To prove it to you, I just want to show you a little trick, a little tip that I do so that you can keep track of it, as well as when you do a service. When you put your car into a service, they're going to put a little sticker up here. Now mine doesn't have it because I had the windscreen replaced. Oh God, the beeping. God, the beeping. Anyway, righto, so you've got on your trip meter, you've got your kilometers. I'm not sure if you guys can see that. Hang on a second. You've got your kilometers. Trip A, so it's 344 Ks since I put fuel in it. And then trip B, 2004 kilometers. So that trip B, I always don't reset it, right? So I always leave it, when I get a service done, I always zero it, and then so I can always refer back to that trip B. That way I can know exactly how many Ks I've done, because it'll be on the sticker, but sometimes the stickers, they don't last or whatever. But I always let that trip B set at zero after I get a service done or something major like that done, so that I know exactly how many kilometers it's done to the T. So it's done 2,004 kilometers. I'm gonna drop the oil out of it probably tomorrow. I'm not gonna do it now. And yeah, just change the oil again. I have not had a drama with it. After everything, all the problems that I had, pull injectors out, I haven't had a drama with Jack at all. He has run like an absolute trooper. Got the power back, 20 litres per 100 pull on the big van, down from 27 to 30 litres it was. That was average, sort of 27 to 30 litres up depending on the terrain and that. But all the way up to Noosa, all the way back. On the way back from Noosa, we went up some sketchy roads, some places you shouldn't be pulling a 21-foot van. But anyway, 20 litres per 100 was the average fuel that we consumed the whole way. Obviously the computer did some the computer injectors did some learning and that sort of thing. Works sensational. I still want to tune. I think I need a tune. Anyway, but yeah, so happy days. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Remember, if you want some more content from me, well, you're not going to get much more Shauny in the shed, because we're actually moving house, baby. Because, you know, we quit our jobs and we're moving into the caravan to drive around Australia. So, one more content of our big trip of the lap. First video of our big night in the big lap in Jill was dropped last week. Go and check it out. Check out all the videos on my on the rest of my channel. Yeah, hit like and subscribe. It really helps the algorithms and all that sort of stuff. So yeah, and yeah, if you want to see more, hit the subscribe button. You. And sorry for all the punches. It's cool.
That was horribly wicked.